Welcome back. Welcome to the podcast. With Paiton and Evelyn. We told y'all we'd come back better. And we did gonna get better every time. Though. We did just
We're gonna get better every single time. I feel like every time that we continue to practice that and we work on that, it's gonna keep getting better.
It's gonna get better.
It's gonna get way better.
The harmony was just a little bit tighter this time. Just a little bit tighter.
I feel like the more we do it, you know, we gonna get into it. Hey. When we do it, we gonna get into it. Hey. What is wrong with us, girl?
We do this every time.
At this point,
can we be normal?
I don't think I can ever be normal. And this is me tired.
Girl.
Like, this is me after a long day. Like, being beat down. And I'm acting like this. For
beat
what?
To the core.
Beat down.
This is me. I ain't been home since 7 o'clock.
Beat down, y'all.
All day.
Let me tell you, beat all the way down. But we're going to get into it. Okay? Because we're not going to hold y'all long with this episode.
Nope.
But I think this is going to be a good one. I feel like I really just want to have a conversation about like life, and do you feel that you are reaching your potential, you know, or like, you know how people say, you know, you have potential in this or you have the potential to do that, but like also if you think about it, like, can you exceed your potential? Like, why do we just have to stop at, you know, that potential, like that mark that is kind of set up, you know? Yeah. And people be like, oh, you have the potential to do this. Like, okay, that's great, but I can also probably have the potential to do other things as well. So, that's what I want to talk about today.
Okay.
So, that's what we're going to get into. So, yeah, we're going to go back to the first one, which is, do you feel like you have already reached your potential in life? I can say for me, the answer is an obvious no. Because I just feel like there's so many things that I definitely want to still do. So many different things I want to get into. Like different places I want to go. Like different people that I want to meet. And, you know, different areas that I just want to tap into that I haven't had an opportunity to do. Because the world is so big and there's so much stuff out here. There's so much stuff that you can learn. So I feel like you shouldn't like cut yourself off to just, you know, be stuck in that same circle or that same, you know, position.
Limit yourself.
Yeah, don't limit yourself if you don't have to. You know, always be safe. Always, you know, watch for your surroundings. You know, be careful. Make sure you're around the right crowd and the right type of people. But as long as you do that, you don't have to limit yourself. Yeah.
I would agree with all of that. And I would say for myself, I haven't reached my potential either. I feel like I won't reach my potential till I get to heaven. Hey, Jesus. Oh, let me stop. I'm not gonna joke with God.
Look, we already did it. Look, I said I'm not gonna play no more.
We already said we weren't gonna play no more.
We said we're gonna stop the kiki.
He done already told
us. Because we kiki a little too much.
He already told us to stop playing.
So he already told us strike one, strike two.
So I'm gonna take heed of that and I'm gonna stop. But that was a real answer. I've never reached my potential till I get to heaven. But the worldly answer is no as well. Because just agreeing and piggybacking off what you said, the world is so huge and it's so much to attain. And I feel like your world, your life is forever evolving.
Yeah.
So you may have potential for something now, and your life can be so different within a couple weeks, a couple months, a year. You know, years go by,
right?
And you can have potential for something else totally different.
Yeah.
So I just feel like your life evolves so much. You can never stop with attaining the potential that you want for certain things.
Yeah, I definitely can relate to that. I definitely feel that and understand that. Yes, like we were talking about. I feel like when you think about, like, kind of like what I was saying, like when people say, oh, you know, you have the potential to do this, you have the potential to do that. Like, don't limit yourself when people say that you have potential to do something. Because I feel like sometimes when people say, like, oh, you have potential to do this, you have potential to do that, you may kind of like just slide toward that side and be like, oh, well, I have potential to do this, so I'm just gonna stick to this. But you're missing out on like other key factors or like other key things that you should be paying attention to, like in a relationship, when people might say like, you have potential. Like, okay, that's good that that person has potential in this area, but it's like, what are the other things that you're not paying attention to that you should be focusing on?
That makes sense. And even in like the relationship aspect of it, I think that kind of goes into like having that list, because we spoke on that too, like having that list for that person to make sure that person that you're with checks off everything that you want, and like you said, reach that potential that you want, but you could be missing other things they're doing that's not on your list. You're so focused on what they are doing. So I think it's good to have that idea, but also not being so like focused on that one thing all the time.
Yeah. So question, do you feel that you have the potential to meet new people this year? Like, to tap into new things that you haven't really done? Or do you feel like you're still like, you know, like on the edge of like, you're not there yet, you're not ready yet, you know, type of thing?
I would say I feel like I already have. Just for me, branching out, you know, deciding to go to esthetician school. I've already met people in that space. I've already built, you know, connections with people that I know for sure I'll keep outside of that space. So I think that in general has almost exceeded the, you know, kind of expectation I had when I first started. Because you kind of don't know where things are going to take you. And, you know, I'm not good at like networking. So I can network, but to initiate a network, I can network at school, because if you're in a class with somebody all the time, you're going to eventually, you know what I'm saying, make connection in some way. But outside connection, no. But anyway, I feel like I've already, you know, kind of tapped into that just being at school. And even like I said, things evolve. So even at work, with work, you're around the same people all the time, but certain scenarios may come up that you wouldn't expect, where you will meet certain people and build relationships with people in that space. So I know for certain there's someone in my job I didn't think that I would actually have a kind of close working relationship with, because I kind of felt like our personalities kind of didn't really match like that. So I'm like, okay, she's cool to work with, but beyond that, having to do any extra, I don't know if I could see that. But it come to find out, we actually work really well together. And we've kind of developed a system where we kind of meet once a month or once every 2 weeks and just try to organize certain things within our job to help, you know, make things simpler, just for not only for myself, for her, and just for the department in general. So I had no clue that we would be able to come together on that and kind of build something around that that is just, you know, very cohesive, and we work very well in that space. So I guess that kind of ties in not kind of limiting yourself and other people as well.
I agree with that. I think that like the not limiting yourself kind of ties into like keeping your options open, which I think is sometimes difficult when it comes to, I mean, it's difficult when it comes to relationships, but also difficult when it comes to your career. Because I feel like a lot of people, once they get into that career, you know, they have a secure job and they like their job, you know, or even if they don't like their job, you know, just the fact that their job is paying the bills and stuff like that, it becomes hard to keep your options open and feel like, oh, well, I should start applying other places. I can find somewhere that, you know, I can make more money. You know, I should step out and, you know, look for, you know, somewhere new, or I should even change my career completely, you know, possibly, because maybe this is not what I want to do for the rest of my life. And I feel like that's kind of a difficult situation to be in, but that's the situation the majority of the world is in.
Yeah.
They're in a position where they didn't keep their options open when it came to their career path, you know, because it either got comfortable, you know, it's difficult to change, or like the money's really good and you, like I said, your bills need to be paid. So it's like, why am I changing up for something that may not even work out?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think that that's really interesting too, because just looking at that being how the world operates, I feel like that's kind of what leads to a lot of people being unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like in feeling, you know, like they didn't reach their potential,
mm-hmm.
is because they got stuck in a place, you know, whether they, you know, got themselves stuck there, or that's just kind of how the cards went about life.
Mm-hmm.
They're now stuck in a position where, you know, they kind of have to just be there, and they have to just deal with that situation.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of it's messed up, you know, because it's like now you're in a place where maybe you don't want to be there. You saw more for your life, especially when you're younger. Like, you have so much time to like see more for your life, you know. But like I said, as you know, if you have a house, if you have a car, if you have this insurance, that insurance, that health insurance, you know, then, you know, if you have kids, if you have
mm-hmm.
a bunch of school debt, you know, because you already tried to go to school, or you went to school, whatever. Like, after it all starts to pile on, it kind of just stops you, I feel like, from reaching your potential,
mm-hmm.
from reaching your goals, from going to the places that you originally had dreamed of. And I feel like that's always a sad thing when
mm-hmm.
I see people stop dreaming, because I feel like if you're still dreaming, then you're still living. Mm-hmm. And I feel like if you're not dreaming, you're not living.
Yeah.
You just kind of here. Like, you're just kind of walking around like in a matrix at that point. That's kind of how I feel about that.
Mm-hmm. And I can agree with that, and I can, you know, relate to that in some way, because once you've kind of dove into like the real world per se, and having to start adulting, you kind of at some point lose track of, you know, certain options you have for yourself, certain goals, and even like you said, with a house, a car, all of those can become distractions in some way. So I feel like I can definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
But what do you think there's ever like a limit?
A limit to what?
On like reaching your potential?
I feel like no, because the world is literally so big.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like there's no way that there could be a limit on it. Because I feel like humans are very complex people. But I feel like we don't think of ourselves in a complex type of way. I feel like we limit ourselves by just thinking of ourselves in a basic type of way.
Yeah.
And I think that's the issue. I feel like we just kind of look at each other and be like, oh, well, they're this and that person's that, and that's what it is. And, you know, that's just kind of how we like alter our brains to think. But like humans, I feel like are very limitless, and, you know, like the more that you learn, the more that you grow, the more that you, like I said, the more that you learn, the more that you use your brain, you know, you will tap into so many different things, because it's like they say, like, humans don't even use their whole brain now. Like, that's actually a fact. Like, scientists will say we don't even use the full capacity of our brains already, and we probably never will. So the fact that I don't even use the full capacity of my brain right now that I could, and I probably never will, means that there's no limit to what I can do, because I can always do much more.
So do you think time could be a certain reason for a limit?
I feel like time, but more so...
So not necessarily just time as in like looking in years, but even in age and just time in general. Because you can have people that want to, you know, reach a certain potential, and they get a certain age and they can't think the same way they did at a certain age. So that kind of thing they're trying to reach, it won't really maybe work out that way. Or like you said, children come into play.
Yeah.
So now that has placed sort of a limit on certain potentials that you're trying to reach. And I'm not me asking my own question, but I feel like,
go ahead.
I said, let me answer this spot again. But I feel like yes and no to that. And I'm gonna say yes and no is because being in college really opens your mind to a lot more. Because it makes you realize that regardless of time or what's going on around you, you still have to do what you need to do. And if you put that work in, you'll eventually get to where you want to be, per se. It won't be like your end goal, but you're one step closer.
Right.
So I feel like for me, college has kind of opened my mind a little bit more to the opportunity for certain things in life. And just the idea of not necessarily, there aren't really so many limits of potential, because just from being in a class, you'll see people from 12 to 65 sitting in the classroom. So you can't necessarily say, oh, it's time or age or anything like that, because anything is possible if it's meant to happen for you. And that's why I feel like potential you can never not reach a potential. You can never not reach a goal. There's no such thing as you live your whole life and never reach some type of, goal, a taste, anything. And I think that's all about whatever is supposed to be for you, it will be. That I honestly feel that.
I agree. Like, whatever is supposed to like happen for you will be what's for you, which kind of goes into another topic, because like I was talking to someone today, and they're like, oh, do you want kids? And it's like, those are big things that you talk about, but if you really think about it, like, everyone does not have the opportunity to get married. Everyone does not have the opportunity to have kids. Everybody does not, maybe have the opportunity to have a $1 million job where they make $1 million. Like, there's a lot of stuff out here, but like, if you start thinking about it on a realistic level, everybody does not have the opportunity to do all those things. So if you think about the fact that, everybody can't, like, we can't all live the same life. I'm sorry. So somebody's gonna have to be the person that just lives, I don't want to say regular life, but like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, like they live sort of the life that is for them. You know what I'm saying? It's certain people that are meant
to live
for certain things.
What they're
it's some people that are meant, like, even, this is random, but like on a celebrity standpoint, it's certain people that are meant to do that. Not everybody can do that. You can dream of that. You can, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, you see certain people's lifestyles, you're like, oh, I wish I could do that. But then you take a step back and it's like, never mind, they can have that.
And I think that's how people also limit themselves, because you're busy looking at other people's lives, but that may not be the life that you're supposed to live. And that's why you're struggling so bad to like reach a goal, or you're struggling so bad to reach your potential, because in your head your potential may be one thing, but honestly God determines your path. So what he determines is your actual potential, is what you should really be doing. And maybe that's why you're stuck still in the same position, on the same thing, wondering, and praying and being like, dang, I've been working hard, I've been doing this, I've been doing X, I've been doing Y, I've been doing Z. Why is it not happening? It's probably not happening because you're trying to still do things your way. And that's the issue. And that's why you continue to hit the same roadblock year after year after year after year. Because what that person over there is doing, that's what they're doing. That's what they have for their life. So that's their potential. That may not be yours. Yours may be something different. So stop trying to limit yourself by thinking that what that person has for them is what's for you, because that may not be so. It may be true, but it also may not be true.
And I think that kind of ties into a different aspect, because you have people that maybe feel like they're trying to do too much. Maybe their potential is too much. Not necessarily, oh, let me do this, try to reach this, one goal, and it may not be working out.
Mm-hmm.
But you have people that feel like, well, I don't know if I can do this because I'm trying to do 6-8 different things, and it may not work out. I don't know, but we'll see. And even going back to what you're supposed to do with your life, like, you may reach a goal, and like you said, God may feel like this is not where you're supposed to stay at. You may have to get to another place in your life. So he's putting all these things on your heart for you to think about. Maybe it's time for me to move to another stage in life.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's time for me to switch things up.
Yeah.
This may not be, the end of what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
So a lot of people get to that certain stage in their life and feel like maybe it's time for me to, slow down, or maybe I'm doing too much. But it may even be like a blessing in disguise. Because you have some people that slow all the way down and they just stop completely. Mm-hmm. And then they have regrets in life. Now they wish they would have done certain things. So it's, it's multiple ways to kind of tackle that type of thing.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. Because like we were just saying, everybody's life is different. So everyone's goals that they need to hit and achieve are going to be different. Everybody's potential is going to be different. And like I said, I think that's why a lot of people mess up. Mm-hmm. Because, this person believes, oh, well, if they have this type of house, then I should be able to have that type of house too. Yeah. Well, they had 3 kids. Why was I only able to have 1 child? Well, they got married at 19 years old. Why am I still waiting at age 30? Mm-hmm. That's what you always, especially the marriage thing. They doing this at 22. Why am I 35 and I'm still single? Mm-hmm. They doing this. They happy in their marriage. Why am I still can't find nobody at 21 years old? I love you, and we'll hear from y'all soon. Bye.
See you soon.